welcome and bienvenue and welcome back to Opus Magnum with Lyte. Today we're working on a stamina potion. Frederick, well, needs to produce an heir. We need to help him. This is a weird one. This one's a little rough. So the first approach that I take to it is not optimal in any way, shape, or form. Nothing optimal about it, but I like it. I like what it does. I like how everything moves. It's just a very satisfying little machine. But you can see there's a lot of pausing, there's a lot of spinning. There's no way this is optimal. There's a lot of empty space, there's a lot of moving parts. Not optimal on cost, cycles, or area. It's decent on area, though. I mean, second bin is fine. There are tons of people who are really happy with second bin. We're not those people, are we? No, we're not. And so we move on to a slightly more sophisticated result. Shimmy here, 51 cycles. Now this one, it has similar mechanics to it because we grab it and move it, grab it and move it. But it takes those 2 cycles to move it in. And then we attach, and drop. But this grab is late. We've got various pauses in the production cycle. And we've got an 8 cycle to produce them. 8 cycles are no good. 4 cycles are what you're aiming for because you get the asymptotic efficiencies. But again, I like how it moves. I like that little shimmy in the middle. Now, what I was saying in the previous episode about how certain things don't necessarily need to work the way we're having them work, well, that's right here. I haven't had a chance to update any of these results given this knowledge, but you don't actually have to drop your metal on this device. You can just hold it over it. And so we could just be holding the metal over this, bam, bam, and then take it away. So that's an important thing to keep in mind if you're trying to shave a cycle or 2 off of a result, is you don't have to keep them on that glyph. So shimmy, it's okay. So then we work on reducing the size of the cycle. So we've reduced it from 8 to 6. 6 is better. It's not great, but it's better. And this one, instead of bringing it into the middle and trying to shove the iron inside of it, we bring it down the lane such that they arrive at the same time. We connect them and we drop them. We have an early grab here such that it's just a chick chick bam. So that's at least saving us something. That is usually just a cycle or 2 improvement. We made it into the first bin. Woo, first bin. But still, if you look down here, grab, grab, wait, grab, grab, wait, grab, grab, wait. And I know the audio's a little bit off, but it is still just a grab, grab, wait situation. It's a red flag. You're not optimal if you're not asymptotically optimal. Now, granted, that might not be true. There might be situations in which you're not asymptotically optimal, but for this local cycle statistic, you are optimal. Those tend to be large, weird problems, and I don't think we've gotten to any of those just yet. Now, other things that should be red flags in this solution. The iron walks a long way to the solution. Heck, everything walks a long way to the solution. So the likelihood of this being optimal, pretty darn low. But then again, we're going to say that a lot in this episode, because the next one is the best I've managed at 32 cycles. So we dropped 10 cycles off of down the lane into Antlion. So it's very similar, but we rearranged this spine area such that now it's a 4 cycle. Instead of 6 or 8, now it's asymptotically optimal. But it's still that same pass it down the line here and pass it down the line over here. Now we grab it the moment it's iron, so that at least is okay. But it would be best if that was the moment that we were able to slam it in. The trouble becomes trying to get this over here and slam it in but be out of the way when we're trying to slam this solution in. So we might be able to save a couple of cycles in the iron production and placement. If we move this over here and angle it in this way, we might be able to save a cycle or 2. We do have an early grab over here, so we're not necessarily losing anything there. The biggest problem that I've found is trying to get the 2 waters facing the direction we want fast enough. Because in our first solution, we pull it out and we have to rotate it. Now that takes a long time. No good. Our second solution, we do a similar thing where we pull it out and then we pull it like this, but then we have to pull it a second time. Having a second rotation like that tends to cause problems, because then you have difficulty grabbing the next one and putting it there. Not saying it's impossible, because it's likely what we need to do. Because this takes less time to get to the actual solution. The problem becomes that we can't get everything out of the way soon enough. Because we can't pull this directly into the binding spot right now. Fairly certain when you try to swing it over, it hits something. But I might be wrong. I might not have tested that. But I remember when building this that I wanted to do that, but it didn't quite work out for me. And so each time we improve it, it does get better. It gets faster due to our ability to cut down on the length of the cycle. But if we could take Antlion and instead of having it walk down the lane like this, if we were able to just pull it from here into those 2 positions, probably save us quite a bit of time. Because then it wouldn't have quite as long a walk down this spine. But again, pretty sure I tried it. But we could revisit it in the future, see if we can really get it to where we need it. Now, 32 is a good result, and as you saw, not a whole lot of people are in this cycles band. It's not as small as the area band, but yeah, it's how these things go. But speaking of area and cost, this one I particularly enjoy. I don't know if it's optimal. It has a lot of waste. It's got 6 of these tiles that are not being used for a purpose. And that's my red flag when working with area, is if there are empty hexes, you need to worry about those empty hexes. Is there a way to move the output? Can you move the binder? Can you move something to get that fixed? But in this case, I just don't see a way. Yet. The most likely... no, I can't even go with most likely other result, because it's just bonkers trying to think of some other place that you could put it, because say you tried to put it out here on the other side, you'd have to keep this down while trying to grab the other things. There are just so many confounding things, because once you move out of this area, another one comes in and blocks you. Same with these guys. if you don't keep something over top of them, well, you're doomed. And you can't keep something over top of these two, so you'd have to keep it over this one, and then how do you build onto this while keeping something on it? It's just one big mess after another, and likely would end up causing you to use more hexes than you really should. But I don't know. Weird things happen in these puzzles. But I do like this result. It uses just one piston. I am confident that you can't do it with just one arm because there's just too many things. So low price, probably got a guarantee on that. Low area, pretty strong, not guaranteed. So this one, I could see people having some really fantastically unique results for. So if you've got one of those, send it over into the comment section, Twitter, or Discord. I know I and various other people would love to see it. That's all for this episode. I will see you in the next episode of Opus Magnum with Lyte.